From when I moved to China to when I got married, I made it a goal to live frugally. I would go out a lot less with my friends. And even as my income went up over the years, I still kept to a frugal lifestyle. This lifestyle has helped me save up for an apartment and have enough money left in the bank to not worry for the foreseeable future. Not only that, living like this has given me 7 principles about life and money that I will share with you today if financial freedom is one of your goals. I'm Leon, an economics teacher with a business and education degree, and so this channel is about giving you the lessons on life and money that school should have taught you. Let's go. The first principle that I had to live by and really internalize is this idea that contentment and happiness comes from the inside and not the outside. So many people buy things because they want admiration, they want envy from other people, they want to impress people that maybe they don't even know that well, or they want to live up to someone else's expectation. The moment I realized that I didn't have any of that freed me. When I was young, I always thought that the Burberry scarf was this kind of status symbol. I always wanted one. But the moment I bought one, I realized that that was not what made me happy. My happiness came from the idea that I can make enough money to provide for myself, not from the stuff I buy for myself. And so if you depend on the opinion of others or the ownership of stuff for your happiness, then I'm sorry, maybe the frugal life isn't a life that will make you happy. The second shift is the shift from expensive to cheap hobbies. I used to love fine dining while I was in university, and I would spend the paycheck on my part-time job, almost all of it, on $100 meals in downtown. And so I've since graduated from that phase of my life, and I realized that I can actually be pretty happy on pretty cheap hobbies like watching a show or reading a book. The only times now when I go out for fine dining is when I'm with my wife and we want to go out somewhere nice together. And so just that shift from being self-centered to being centered on the people that I want to give a better life to really helped me develop a healthier mindset around how I should be spending my money. And it turns out that spending money making those you love happier is a much better way of spending money than just buying stuff for me. And so the third principle that I had to understand was the difference between financial peace and financial freedom. They're totally different. Financial peace is knowing that your finances are in order, that you're on track to meet your saving goals, that even if you lost the job today, you're not panicked. That is financial peace. Financial freedom is calculating the amount of money you need every month, inflation adjusted, in order to not have to work for the rest of your life. And so financial freedom is a lot less achievable than financial peace, because financial freedom requires you to have a large nest egg because you're not working anymore. So you need some kind of capital aside from you that is making money. But financial peace is a lot more achievable. Financial peace is building a valuable skill to the marketplace, knowing that you'll never be out of work. And that's the stage that I am at today. And that's actually the stage I recommend most people to walk towards. It's not financial freedom, it's financial peace. And financial peace is what you're getting on the way to financial freedom. If you never reach financial peace, you will never reach financial freedom. The fourth principle that I really had to understand while living frugally was the difference between loneliness and solitude. Like, feeling lonely sucks. It's that feeling of everybody else is going out, but because you've chosen a certain lifestyle or you don't have enough money, you have to say no, even when you want to go out. And on the Friday nights when your friends or colleagues are out socializing, you choose to stay home. And for 7 years after moving abroad, before meeting my wife, I lived alone. And I can't deny that there were moments when I did feel lonely, when I wish I was with someone else, when I wish I decided to go out with friends. But very quickly, I learned to shift that energy into solitude energy. And so solitude is something different. Solitude is being okay with being alone. Like there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. And so the way I became okay with being alone was realizing that what I was doing today would give me massive benefits in the future. Like all the vacations to Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines that I didn't go to while I was in Asia was helping me build towards this down payment for an apartment in Vancouver that I now have rented out. The moment I understood that in order to be extraordinary, I could not live the average life. I could not do what everybody else did. And if I wanted a goal that only 5% of people get, then I have to do the things that only 5% of people are willing to do. The sixth principle of living that I learned while living frugally has to do with people's perception of what living a frugal life entails. A lot of people think that people who live frugally are cheap or stingy, but I think that can't be further from the truth. In fact, living frugally is what allowed me to live generously. A few years ago, my wife and I were working at the same workplace, and for the lack of a better word, it was a pretty toxic work environment, and I could see that it was so negatively affecting my wife. And it came to a point where she really wanted to quit. And because of our frugal lifestyle, she could afford to do that. It was the best decision for her mental health that we've made to date. But it was only possible because we lived below our means. So much so that we can more than enough live on just my income. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to support her through those tough times because we're not living extravagantly. And so the seventh principle about life and money that I learned while living frugally, perhaps the most important one, is the idea that discipline is actually less important than identity. Because I've learned that who you are determines what you do. And if you're trying to be disciplined, then what you're saying is, I'm trying to do something that does not fit with my identity. And so I have to force myself to do that thing. And sometimes that works, but most of the time what works better is just understanding that in order to get to the goal that you want to get to, you have to be a different person. And it is not until after you accept yourself as a different human being with different beliefs and mindsets and habits that then you start seeing changes in your own life towards the goal that you're trying to reach. It wasn't until I leaned into my identity as someone that could be generous with those I love, someone that didn't need external validation or materialistic possessions to be happy, that then I was able to live that life for myself. Living frugally literally helped me save $100,000 in my 20s on a pretty average income. And if you want to learn more about how I did that, you can watch this video right here.